Coombsy, it took less than 24 hours or less than 36 hours or whatever from when Ohtani signed to when the Cody Bellinger rumors started popping up. His wife goes on Instagram, shares a nice Instagram story of the Toronto skyline and the CN Tower, and everyone's going, giddy up. We're ready to do it again. We're ready to get our hearts broken again. What do you make of this Bellinger talk? I mean, the idea that he could command $250 million in free agency has me, the price tag has me worried. But again, at the beginning of this offseason, I said he was my dream target. So I got to stand by that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical of Bellinger. I've always been a Cody Bellinger guy. Like I'll say after talking a lot of crap about the LA Dodgers that they were my second team for a while. They were my National League team. I'm talking about this in the past tense. They're no longer my national team. I got to find a new NL West team. Yeah, like the Cody Bellinger was a great player for the Dodgers for years, and then he messed up his arm playing in the playoffs in 2020, making, I think it was a great catch in the outfield or something like that. Injured himself and just hasn't really been the same since. And then signed the 1-year deal with Chicago and had a lot of good basic numbers. Good batting average, good OPS, hit some bombs. Everything kind of looks good, but then a bunch of the stats people on Twitter have pointed out his hard hit rate is quite poor. So it's kind of like the opposite of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in that he is not hitting the ball very hard, but found good results. And that's maybe not the profile that you want, but I don't know, because I've also just spent the past couple of years watching Vladdy hit the piss out of the ball and having, some of the all red thing on Baseball Savant, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy should be good, but he's not, unfortunately. So I don't know. Maybe Bellinger in Toronto makes a lot of sense. The money seems huge. I don't think the Jays should go ahead and strike out on Ohtani and then sign a terrible contract in free agency. And I worry that Bellinger is the player that might be the terrible contract in free agency. So, but you also don't want to come up empty-handed, because there's a lot of spots in the roster you have to fill. And then also you got the fans all riled up about Ohtani. You got to sell all these tickets, all these premium luxury tickets where people are going to be, the word was that they were coming in 3 or 5 year contracts for those luxury seats, the new ones. So getting people to invest that amount of money over a period of time where you're not really sure if the team's going to be good for years to come, right? Bo and Vlad are 2 years each away from free agency. Maybe the window's on its way to closing, and you kind of have to do something this winter to prove otherwise. And I guess signing Cody Bellinger might be that, but I don't know how much he really moves the needle, or if that even winds up being a good deal at all.
MLB.com, there's an article up there ranking the best landing spots for Bellinger. The Jays are listed at number 1. Another player who they reportedly had some level of interest in but is now off the board is Jung-Hoo Lee. The Giants agreed to terms with him on a 6-year, $113 million contract the other day. So he's off the board as well. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks there's more upside in Bellinger than Chapman, right? Like, if Matt Chapman's going to go and get an offer from someone for $180 million, and then you can spend $225 and get Bellinger, I think I choose Bellinger in that situation.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think based on the Blue Jays and their positional needs and maybe the upside, you probably go with Bellinger. But we've talked about this before. I think Matt Chapman's kind of become, how do you word this for Blue Jays fans? He's kind of become something you get sick of when you watch him too much. And I mean, we have to think back to 2 years ago before there was Matt Chapman, and we were watching the Kevin Biggio, Santiago Espinal, Jake Lamb, Breivik Valera, whatever the hell at third base, and that sucked. And Matt Chapman showed up, and look, his at-bats are not always fun to watch. More often than not, they're very painful to watch, because I have never seen anyone strike out through like middle fastballs at, mid-90s miles per hour than that. But his defense is so good that I think the Blue Jays will lose a tremendous amount. Like, there's a lot of pitch to contact guys that rely on defense a little bit in their rotation. And I think we're kind of underrating how important Matt Chapman's been to the Blue Jays in the past couple of years because of how frustrating his at-bats are. And I understand, like, Matt Chapman on a $200 million deal to put up like a 750 OPS. It's not the best, but look at the market, man. Look at what people are getting paid. Like, Lee got paid way more by the Giants than, I think he got paid twice as much as what he was projected to get by MLB trade rumors. So like, the free agent market's going wild. So Blue Jays Rogers found $700 million, apparently, something thereabouts, to pay for Ohtani. These contracts shouldn't be that detrimental, perhaps.
I don't think there's, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, if you were ready to commit $60 to Ohtani, go commit 25 to Bellinger and go commit 20 to Chapman, and there you go. But I think it was pretty obvious that there was a larger business case to be made for spending that money on Ohtani. Like, you sign Ohtani, you instantly sell tens of millions of dollars in jerseys. You sign Bellinger, not too many kids are waking up Christmas morning with a Cody Bellinger Jays jersey under the Christmas tree, right? As much as I think he's going to be an impactful player, not the same star power there. So I don't think we should be expecting the Jays to go now just spend $70 million on free agents for this upcoming season.
Thanks for tuning in to Blue Jays Nation Radio. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from to never miss an episode.